It is 6 o'clock, looking at the Capitol in the background of this live shot here on 13 Sunrise. We're glad you're up with us on a Monday morning after pretty nice weekend weather-wise. I know we had some rocky starts to our weekend on Friday, and back on Monday this afternoon could look like that too. So a weather impact day. I'm Julia along with Julia and Lindsay on your Monday morning. I don't know if you sleep through the storms on Friday. How was your weekend go?
Yeah, definitely did not sleep through those. I've got my kids trying to find out where everyone is, if everyone's safe. And yeah, that was a rough one, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had some tree reports down and power lines down. So that was a little bit of an issue. Could have been worse. We just kind of got the heads up. It was right during that evening commute, 5 to like 8 p.m. is when it rolled through. So certainly thinking about that, but also more waves of storms headed our way today.
That type of threat today?
We are looking at a damaging wind threat. Yeah, I believe that's going to be our highest risk for today here in central Indiana. So I wanted to start with what's going on out there right now. It's been a pretty active setup. I want to start though back near Kansas City. This complex of storms is likely going to be the one that sustains as it moves in our direction closer to this afternoon. You see that earlier wave kind of moving off screen. That's now in Illinois, but this one has a history of not only producing severe thunderstorm warnings, but significant rainfall, which is leaving in its wake a series of flash flood warnings. That is now in effect for the Kansas City metro right now. A significant amount of rainfall reported within some of these thunderstorms. Radar indicated rain on the backside of where this stormy weather has moved through. 4 to perhaps 5 inches of rain. So these are certainly packing a punch with not only the severe potential, but also a lot of water within them. This is a look at the next round that is back across the border in central Illinois, headed in our direction. We've kind of got the opposite. We've got dry air in place across central Indiana. So that's really been cutting into the leading edge of that complex. Just back to our west. I still think we could get a few stray showers as that will move across the state here, getting through the middle part of our morning, but then those rounds of stronger storms will likely set up after about 3 p.m. 55 in the meantime in Indy, 56 in Bloomington as that warm front lifts through. There's the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. Still watching far western Indiana for that level 3 of 5 risk. Again, primary threat will be damaging wind gusts today. We'll walk you through that latest timeline coming up in the full forecast. It is 6:02 now, and we've got some backups out on the west side of town right now. Check it out. This is going to be near I-70 and State Road 267. You can see we've got some flashing lights there, some crews out blocking traffic, at least one lane of traffic. I-70 westbound right now is where we're really seeing some of the delay build. You can see we've got some of the flashing lights up there as well. Far west side over in Hendricks County. So as far as a delay, this is starting to create a little bit of a backup. So right now we're at 15 minutes from I-465 over to State Road 39. That stretch of interstate should take about 11 minutes. So not a significant delay, but we are adding about 4 extra minutes onto that morning drive. You can see we are seeing that slow travel right now, I-70 westbound. We'll keep you posted on that and any new accidents or delays that develop across the area.
Appreciate it, Lindsay. Thank you. Well, new this morning, IMPD is investigating a shooting that happened on the city's south side.
This was just before 11:30 last night on Southeast Street, not far from East Thompson Road. We're told officers responded here to the scene and found a person shot in stable condition at first, though when they were taken to the hospital, that condition was downgraded to critical. At this point, no other information has been released. Well, today a man is expected to plead guilty to leaving out a gun that led to the accidental shooting death of a 4-year-old girl.
Terrell Jackson is now charged with a felony neglect charge. It happened on July 5th of 2023 at a townhome in Cumberland. Police say 4 children ages 6 and younger found Jackson's gun in a bedroom.
Dior Nita is that little girl that was accidentally shot by a 6-year-old sibling, and she died at the scene. Jackson did reach that plea agreement with prosecutors in early April, but the agreement is sealed, so we don't have much information about what it includes. We may learn more at that hearing today at 1. Well, it started as a fun night celebrating the Little 500 in Bloomington, turned to chaos after police say multiple people were hit by gunfire.
Jenna Webster has been following the new developments in this mass shooting near the IU campus. Also, Jenna, how police are working to keep the event safe in the future. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, really top of mind this morning, too. The mayor says in the coming days they're going to be reviewing the police response, but also talking about any policies and procedures that should be updated to increase safety at big public events like this. We know Little 500 weekend is something police plan extensively for, and they said they had a large presence on Kirkwood when the shooting happened. Police say around 12:30 Sunday morning, there was a fight between two women outside the Five Guys on Kirkwood. During that fight, police say surveillance and cell phone video show at least two men pull out handguns before firing shots. One of those bullets hit a 20-year-old woman in the torso. At last check, she is still in the hospital in stable condition. Four other young women, ages 17 to 22, were also hit by bullet fragments. The police chief says the problem is the guns.
It's when guns get introduced and the fights, that's when we have problems. So we're going to continue to stress that that type of behavior will be dealt with, and that's not what we expect from people that come in and want to celebrate Little 500.
We do know this morning none of the young women injured are IU students. Police also say they don't believe the two women who were involved in that initial fight were victims of the gunfire. This morning they're still working to learn what started that fight and who exactly fired shots. The Bloomington police chief, who you just heard from, says they've already had conversations about planning for the Little 500 weekend earlier next year, trying to get some of these safety concerns addressed. But coming up at 6:30, you'll hear from one of the witnesses and some of his thoughts on potential safety changes.
And you know, this is such a big event. You can't just say only IU students. I mean, people come from all over to go to that event.
Right. And we know that some of those people who were there last night have different places that they are from. So big event that a lot of people want to come and celebrate.
All right. Thanks, Jenna.
Well, your time is 6:06. Police right now are looking for suspects in a deadly shooting at a gas station on the east side.
This happened around 7 o'clock last night at 38th and Mithofer. Metro police say someone shot a man multiple times at this BP gas station. He was taken to the hospital where he later died.
If you can help investigators, they want you to reach out to IMPD or Crime Stoppers. You can do so anonymously at 262-TIPS.
Well, we know a child has died after a crash yesterday afternoon in Indianapolis. How it happened near Riverside Regional Park and the Marion University campus near 30th and Cold Spring Road. You can see how badly both cars are damaged here. Now, police have not shared the age of the child who died, but we also know two adults were hurt in this crash and are in stable condition. We'll, of course, share any new information about how this happened and if anyone's facing charges.
It's election time. Primary elections are a little over a week away now, and the race is heating up for Indiana's congressional districts.
So 4th District candidates were on the campaign trail meeting prospective voters in Whitestown over the weekend. They participated in a forum yesterday afternoon. 4 Democratic candidates made the case why they should represent the 4th Congressional District.
The seat is currently held by Republican Jim Baird. It's been decades since a Democrat represented this area. Some voters say they want to change that.
For far too long, we've been served by one party, and it's just important to have multiple voices in the room. And I think that's what we're all here hoping for, is just to have a voice in the room. So it would mean a lot to us to have a Democrat elected to this position.
Krista Latham, who you just heard from, says that as a teacher with her own kids in school, education is one of her key issues she's looking for when casting a vote. A reminder, if you want to vote early, some of those early voting satellite locations are open. There are 8 sites in Marion County that opened over the weekend. They'll also serve as voting centers on Election Day, too. So if you want to map out the best space, we have a list of all the polling places and their hours right now on WTHR.com. You have until Sunday if you want to vote early. All the early voting sites are closed next Monday, and then Election Day is Tuesday, May 5th.
Well, happening today, Congressman Jefferson Shreve will be in Franklin for the first Scams Summit. He'll be joined by the Johnson County Sheriff and representatives from the Indiana Bankers Association and the Secretary of State's Securities Division. This series is designed to protect people in central Indiana from fraud and financial exploitation. Today's summit is from 10 until 11:30 at the Otterbein Senior Life. That's on West Jefferson Street.